This afternoon's play, The Tony Kaye Scandal by Michael McLean, follows events which culminated in one of the brightest football talents of the early 1960s being accused of match-fixing. Mikey North plays Tony Kaye as a young man, and Kaye himself provides personal insights in a recently recorded interview.
This is a tale about a conspiracy to defraud in a football sense. Across the newspaper, it was bribery and corruption in football, it was called. But there was no bribery. Corruption, maybe, but in my context, and I'm sure in the other two, we were innocents dragged into a plot that we didn't know about. And it turned out very, very badly. My name is Tony Kaye, and I play for Sheffield Wednesday, Everton and England. With me, football came first and foremost. Football was before, I shouldn't say this, before the wife, the kids, drink. I was going to say women then. Women. My first wage was, I think, £7, and then £9 in the playing season. So in the close season, you got a job like on the buildings or landscape gardening or whatever. But I never thought about doing anything else because that's the only thing I ever wanted to do was play football. And so when this thing occurred, we had no idea.
Oi, Bronco, get some soap then.
Yeah, down there.
Oh, not bending over near you.
Well, you'll get no soap then, will you, Swanee?
Mansfield took 7 past Palace last night.
Aye, sorry.
Yeah, what you been on there for?
I just fancied seeing the game. Going through players' entrance. Bumped into Jimmy Gauld in the tunnel.
Jimmy's still playing, is he?
His leg's in a pot broken.
Poor bugger.
Not really. Reckons he's using his spare time to forge a little shadow career. Making a few bob by sound of it.
Alright, doing what?
A few safe bets here and there.
Bet?
Not fixed odds, you know. And league matches. Says he's arranged plenty already, no problem.
That's as maybe he's playing a dangerous game there.
Happens so, doesn't it?
I'm sure it does.
He wants another team to get a treble up in the fixed odds this Saturday.
Right.
We've got Ipswich.
Yeah.
Never get out down there, do we?
Yeah, you can say that again.
Right bogey side.
So, what other games have you got going for him?
Hang on.
It's alright, it's only Tony.
Hey up ladies, do I get a cuddle as well?
What are you whispering about?
Not much.
Bronco here reckons we can make something out of nothing on Saturday when we get beat.
When we get beat?
Well, when was the last time we beat Ipswich? Home or away?
Yeah, that's true.
So was Jimmy Gauld last night, Tony.
Who's Jimmy Gauld? Yeah, pass that shampoo over.
Striker, he's a jock. Played with him at Swindon and now he's at Mansfield.
So what's that got to do with us down at Ipswich?
Well, if we give him 50 quid, he'll double our money.
Steady on, Bronco.
What? I'm just stating the fact.
So what's he offering? 100 plus the stake back, is it?
Aye. As long as we get beat, like. Which we probably will.
Even if we try our best, you mean?
Oh, aye, obviously. What do you reckon?
Oh.
Swanee? Fancy 100 notes?
Oh, jeez. Wait, as long as it's just a bet. That's all I'm saying. We don't want to be going down any other road. Eh, Tony?
And he'll put the bet on there.
Jimmy will. If you want in, I'll take it to him.
I suppose 50 quid, you know, not to lose really, have we?
And if we win, we'll get our bonus.
Aye.
And 2 points, which comes first, obviously.
Aye.
We're keeping this just between us three, yeah?
Aye, not a word.
And just to be clear, what we're talking about here, we're talking about a bet. Just a straight bet. There's no question of throwing out, is there?
No way, Tony, no, that ain't my bag.
No, mine. And when will we get the money?
Soon as. He's a good fella, Jimmy, won't screw us, right?
Better not. Hey, and mind where you're rubbing that soap.
Do you ever bring your own?
Hey, 100 big ones, eh, lads? What do you spend it on?
Some proper long shorts for you, Swanee, you big thing.
Yeah, no.
So, Mr. Kaye, let's at least get this straight. As it happened, your time at Sheffield Wednesday was coming to an end.
I suppose it was.
And you knew at the time your old manager, Harry Catterick, who had moved to Everton, was about to buy you?
Didn't say that. Players don't know anything what goes on. I knew Harry liked me. He liked Peter Swan as well, but it didn't come in for him. I had a job to do at Wednesday, that's all I knew.
You see, there could be the accusation, given that the Ipswich game was one of your last for the club, that your heart wasn't in it, so to speak.
Listen, every time I pulled a shirt on, my heart was in it. And if you're my solicitor, you make sure there's no way they pin that one on me. The fact is, on that day at Ipswich, I ran my feet into the ground. Yeah, alright, we lost 2-0. Me, Bronco, Swanee and the rest, we got outplayed. We were never in it, but we tried. I was given man of the match for Pete's sake by the People newspaper itself. They give me man of the match, then next minute when some juicy story comes along, they're accusing me of throwing the very same game. I would love to meet the man who could manage that.
Well, for what it's worth, I think the judge will believe that. I don't think the integrity of your performance that day will come into question.
Good.
It'll just be the matter of you staking £50 on a fixture involving your own club and profiting from that. You've admitted to that.
100 poxy quid.
You are positive Mr. Catterick had no idea about what the three of you had done? Despite his connections with Sheffield Wednesday?
No, not a clue. Not Harry. He won't stand for any of that. He doesn't take risks. I mean, our record signing. When he got the Everton board to fork out all that money on me, he thought he bought me for life.
Tony, can I have a word?
Boss?
Looked as though you were fitting in well this morning. Fastest out there.
I felt good, yeah. First-rate squad.
And you definitely feel this was the right move for you, coming to Everton?
Aye. Not half good to get back with you again at all.
Good. Glad to see you're up for the challenge. How were things at Wednesday, then?
Nah, I went a bit downhill when you left, I'd say. I mean, from runners-up, you'd hope to go on better, wouldn't you? But our form was shocking just recently. Never going to be title contenders, that lot.
Well, then, that's why you should be here.
Mr. Catterick, you, going to make a bid for Swanee?
No need to speculate on things that don't concern you, eh, Tony?
Right. I'm sorry.
He's been made captain, I see.
Yeah, he'll be chuffed. Good on him. He's a proper stopper.
Leaking some goals lately, though.
Well...
Liverpool saw you off easily, I hear.
It's neck and neck, really.
How about the Ipswich game?
Ipswich?
I was there, Tony.
Were you?
Bit of an easy win for them in the end, wasn't it?
Aye.
You played well, though.
Oh, tar, yeah. A bit of a bogey team for us.
Them?
Eh?
For them, you mean? Us is Everton now, lad. You're a toffee man.
Oh, yeah.
You've a record transfer fee hanging over you to remind you of that.
Aye.
I know it'll take some adjusting coming here. Only your second club and all that. I was thinking, maybe if you got the armband straight away, you'd soon settle into things.
Me? You mean captain?
Just between us. You think you're up to it?
What about Roy Vernon?
Well, maybe let Taffy do the tossing up still in case he kicks up a fuss. But in reality, I want you to organise things on the park. Keep an eye on everyone in here, match days. Back me up.
Oh, aye. Anything you say, Mr. Catterick.
You know my feelings on playing the game properly. My commitment to running a team built around hard work, respect and sportsmanship.
Of course.
I want to use you as an example to your fellow players and to the English game as a whole. As a role model for honesty and decency.
Oh, you'll get that, boss.
That said, I'm not going to stop you kicking any inside forwards into touch when they come here.
Good, I'm glad. Tell you what, it was brass monkeys out there, wasn't it?
Well, we're at the start of a big freeze, so they reckon. Might not be many games survive January.
Don't know what I'll do with myself. We know football.
Just keep fit and keep out of trouble. Settling into the new house, okay?
Aye, thank you. Yeah, things are really on the up. Can't deny that.
Well, don't then. You're a sportsman, blessed with a real talent. In my judgment, you're this close, Tony, from reaching the very top. You're as good as Bobby Moore.
Oh, come on.
Good as Johnny Haynes. I'd probably pick you before Garincha, too, if I had to choose. You've got it all from where I'm standing. So, enjoy it.
Everybody who plays football must have an ambition to play for England, and once they're there, that is the be-all and end-all of everything. I was always on the verge of England. I had under-18s, under-21s, under-23s. But then the World Cup was coming up and they wanted to get people all acclimatised to one another. We'd won the league with Everton. And that's when I got my cap, and we played Switzerland, and I happened to score a nice 40-yarder from underneath the crossbar, which was even better because it goes into the record as saying played one, won one, scored one. And there's only about 10 of us done that. So that's my initiation into the England squad. I think one of my sons has got the hat now. In fact, I know he's got the hat. It's still about. and I'm very proud of it.
Tony, I have to ask, did you make any more bets once you moved to Everton?
No.
Positive?
Didn't even think about it. Was in my element there from the off. The Gladys end took to me, shouting my name. I was in the form of my life.
And how much contact did you have with Swan and Layne?
No. I moved here to Merseyside, didn't I? The only time I ever saw him was when we played against each other a couple of times. Not more was said about what we did. It were a one-off.
How about this Jimmy Gauld? Did he try to make contact again?
Didn't even know the fella. Why would I be in touch with him?
But did he not try and contact you at all after the first fix?
Look, I've told you. There was no fix. Not as far as I was concerned. You've got to stop saying that if you're going to defend me.
OK. But Gauld himself, he fixed games, didn't he? You were aware of that. He fixed things. The day in question, when you lost at Ipswich...
Fair and square. How many more times?
Right, the day you lost fair and square, as you say. But that same day, Gauld made sure Lincoln versus Brentford and York versus Oldham would result in home wins, didn't he?
Maybe he did. How do I know?
So you didn't know? Look, Tony, if I am to defend you, I have to know all the facts.
Well, I might have heard something, but it still doesn't have anything to do with me.
What we have to prove in court is that you, individually, played no part in ensuring the same would happen at Ipswich.
Man of the match. What better proof is there?
As I understand it, Tony, the prosecution are proposing to play some kind of tape recording of a conversation between yourself and Gauld. Do you know anything about this?
Tape? What tape's this, then?
I'll have to wait and see, but it's likely to incriminate you in some way, otherwise they wouldn't be pushing for it. What exactly was said on the occasions you met Jimmy Gauld, if at all?
All right, I met the clown once. Just once. He turned up at my house one day. Didn't have no recorder on him, though, so how could he have me on tape?
Well, there are methods, Tony.
Yeah?
Tony,
Yeah?
how are you, pal?
Who the hell are you?
It's Jimmy. Jimmy Gauld.
Right. So, what do you want?
Could be well, I'll get chat in private.
No, he is fine.
Yeah, but I mean in private. It's about the bets. Making bets in your own game. Shall we sit in the car then? Don't you recognise me then, Tony?
Well, I've never met you.
You have. Get lumps out of me on many an occasion, eh?
If you say so.
Oh, no one forgets 90 minutes with Tony Kay in a hurry. I can assure you. The door's open. Take a seat. There. No. In the front's best. That's it. Nice house you have here, Tony.
Look, what do you want?
Well, I just wanted to put a name to the face, so to speak. Not that I don't see it every other day plastered all over the back of the paper. But you did me a great favour that time.
Did I?
Aye. Course. Tony. Didn't you?
And when was that then?
Ipswich.
Right.
Didn't you? Oh, don't be modest about it.
No, I'm not modest, mate.
Look, as you probably know, Tony, I made a fair whack out of the fixed odds, arranging games. But you know that, don't you, Tony?
Do I?
I couldn't have done it without the likes of yourself, Tony.
Done what?
The fixes, ensuring the outcome. You and the boys fixed the biggest game of all for me, didn't you?
Who's the boys?
You, Tony Kay, and Peter Swan, and Bronco.
Bronco.
Oh, Tony. You don't have to be cute with me. David Bronco Layne, one of my best pals, and one of yours, I gather.
No, I played with him, that's all. Aunt spoke to him in God knows how long.
It's not as though you didn't come out smelling of roses, is it? 100 quid for a 50 quid stake, wasn't it? Sticking a bet on and making sure you's lost at Ipswich. Right, Tony?
Don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
come on, Tony.
Look, mouth. Just give it a rest harping on, will you?
Whoa, Tony.
And you can stop saying my name over and over. What's that all about?
Look, no one's having a go at you here, pal. I know how piddling the wages are, don't I? I played for 15 years, don't forget. It's bad enough keeping your neck above water when you're playing, but as soon as you're injured or your form dips, your club offloads you like a sack of crap just so they don't have to pay any more money. You're out in your arse, wishing you made more of your time when you played. You get what I'm saying? So, what's wrong with us having a little earner on the side? Hey, Tony? And don't forget, you're a Yorkshireman and I'm a Scot. We grab what we can, eh? You must have been chuffed with your return that day.
It's none of your business.
Oh, so you don't deny it then?
Look, Gauld, if you want something, just spit it out. Because I've got better things to do.
I haven't finished yet.
Well, I have, so up it. Unless you want the other leg breaking as well.
So you do remember some things clearly then. From that time, my leg being smashed, I think there might be a white case of selective memory here, don't you? Okay, Tony. Fair enough. I'll leave you to it.
Very kind of you.
Tony, there'll always be other Ipswiches. You get any other games you think aren't worth trying, and you just give me a call. Here's my card.
Shove it, you bent bastard.
Many, many years ago, I can't mention names, it's difficult. There was a certain side, a London side, who were 3 or 4 of their lads were doing it most of the time, but I actually met them later on and had a couple of drinks and found out from that. And the FA got to know about 2 or 3 times. The thing about it was that they got to know about it, but there was no one that went into it in great depth like Gabbett did, and that's why they got away with it all the time. Could have been a bit threatening, I suppose, so they caused a lot of aggravation and that. Whispers have always been in football about it.
If the prosecution do play these tapes of your conversations in court, it'll be the first time in British legal history such evidence will have been used.
Great, let them. Because I ain't said now, and I ain't done now. Except for sticking a bet on, getting on with me football, and getting me winnings off Bronco. Legit.
It seems as though Mr. Layne, or Bronco as you call him, was a little more forthcoming in his recorded conversation with Gauld. According to the papers, he's confessed to a lot, and it's likely he'll do the same when he gives evidence. This cafe in Sheffield Mr. Layne owned. It became something of a target for these journalists, and prior to that, Mr. Gauld. Is this something you were aware of?
I was completely oblivious to everything. Happy as a pig in muck at Everton. No, I wasn't warned that anything was about to go off. Unlike Swanee and Bronco.
Bronco! Oi, David.
Hey up, Swanee.
I need to talk.
You want a coke?
No, just sit down and listen to me. Something weird's going on.
How do you mean?
Gang of fellas just turned up on my doorstep.
Who were it?
Oh, I thought we were plod at first. I said to Norma, someone's coming up the drive, 4 of them, 2 cars. I opened the door, and this little drip stood there, and he says he's a journalist.
Did he say his name was Mike Gabbett?
Aye, that's the one, Mike Gabbett. Job on the mark. So you've met him and all?
What happened?
Nothing. I closed door on him. This trip says to me, we've just been to David Layne's and he's owned up to fixing a game at Ipswich, and he says you had a part in it.
Is that it?
Never mind, is that it? Is it true? Did you talk to him? Did you? Oh, bollocks, Bronco, what have you said?
Look, it's all right, okay? I haven't admitted to anything bad.
He said fixing.
Well, he's stirring it then.
Just tell me exactly what you told him.
Look, I didn't want to worry you. This fella comes in here, Gabbett, and says he has reason to believe I've been involved in match fixing. So I says to him, I hope you've got some kind of proof. Next minute he slams his piece of paper down in front of me and says, here's your proof, read that. And it's like a transcript. You know, a proper word-for-word typing of a conversation I had with Gauld the other week. And I mean everything. Detailed. You know, ums and ahs and the bits where I'm coughing and that. They must have had a tape.
Jimmy Gauld?
Aye.
You saw Jimmy Gauld? What the hell's he doing sniffing about again?
Well, I don't know, he just turned up here, started yapping with me.
Why didn't you tell me? Give me a call.
Because I knew you'd get all that up like this.
How has Gauld managed to come into here, into your cafe and record everything you've said?
Well, we didn't talk in here, we went out to his car.
Well, there you go then. He's bugged you, David, lad.
Well, how would I to know? He don't look like a bloody spy, does he?
So what have they got on this tape then?
Oh, you know, everything.
What's everything?
About the money we won and the other matches he arranged. This Gabbett fella says it's all going to come out.
So Gould's in on it with the press. He's set us up.
No, Swanee. They're after Gauld. They're after the bookies and the high-profile people who are really deep into this, not us. We're just a link into them exposing everyone.
Exposing us? We're high profile. We're gold dust to them.
Listen, this Gabbert, he says he's going to help us.
What are you talking about? Help us? He's a cheap hack. Bronco, you haven't admitted out to him, have you? Tell me you haven't admitted out.
I had no choice.
Oh,
it were on tape anyway.
Jeez.
Look, right, I've signed something. We're covered.
You are?
They took me to a solicitor's in town, like. A straight up one and all, without fancy names over door and that. And they typed up a legal document making it clear that it were a complete one-off. Like, even the solicitor said, if you sign it, you probably won't even get a ticking off. There's no admission of throwing out.
Did you sign?
Aye.
Are you having a laugh? Have you completely lost your marbles or what?
Oh, I knew you'd react like this.
Just right you knew, because you've gone and put us right in it.
But what can they say?
Anything they want now. You've give it to them on a plate, Bronco. Did they pay you or something?
Of course not.
Well, then I can only put it down to your age. You've been so stupid.
Well, I'd like to know what you'd have done in my shoes.
Let me ask you something. If Gauld suddenly crawls out of the woodwork and starts pinging questions at you in his car, and then days later you've got journalists showing you copies of the conversation, doesn't that ring any bells? Doesn't that say to you they're not after Gauld, but on the contrary, they're working with him? He's give them the tape, they're in it together.
Well, good for them. Who cares? We haven't done our...
We have!
Hey. What then, Peter? What have we done? An innocent bet. If what we did was so bad, we wouldn't have all agreed to do it, would we?
Do I have to spell it out? We, you and I and Tony, profited from our team losing.
No,
we put a bet on against ourselves, didn't we?
Aye. And I'm sure plenty of people did that day. We were in shocking form on the road and Ipswich were champions. We didn't throw out, did we?
Oh, God, give me...
Our own fans stick bets on for the opposition. It don't mean they won't be cheering us. It's just betting. It's football. No, we didn't score any own goals or duff a penalty on purpose or go in half-hearted, did we? Well, not me, any road.
No, me.
And as for Tony, he'd kick his own granny to win a game.
Yeah, or to win a few bob, so the public are going to think now.
Have you spoken to Tony? You got a number to get hold of him?
No, I don't want to neither. I'm keeping my head down. I'm telling you, I'm going to deny everything.
No,
This ain't naught to do with me, David, son. You're on your own.
No, hey, hang on, Swanee.
No, just get out of my sight, will you? I'm up to here with your blithering.
Do you think they might tell the gaffer?
You don't get it, do you, Bronco? I think you'll find they're going to tell the whole world and his wife. This is a bomb. Ticking.
I was in the Royal Tiger Club in Liverpool, and a pal of mine came up who knew all the newspaper men. He said, "You're in trouble." I said, "What's that?" He said, "People have got it splashed right across the front page. This Saturday night it's coming out on a Sunday." He said, "You're in it." I went, "Oops." And we were.
Front page, Tony, mate. Big headline. Peter Swan, David Layne and Tony K. The biggest scandal in football history. It's great.
And you haven't played since the story broke?
No chance. The FA don't want us kicking a ball. I've trained in that. Tried to keep myself in shape for when I come back. Fresh start. I mean, give me a chance to pay back some of that fee Everton forked out for me. I went in to see the gaffer on the Monday morning after it broke. He sat me down and I explained everything. Apologised, but Harry was so quiet. Just said,
We'll do everything we can for you.
he don't really look at me now. He stuck me with the youth team. It'll be alright though, won't it? I mean, as soon as this trial's done and dusted, I can repay his faith. Prove myself to him, to Everton. The fans. Everyone.
I don't know, Tony.
But
I honestly don't know. However, I do believe when we hear Gabbert's evidence, we can convince the jury that his reporting, and probably what he'll come up with in court, will be both selective and misleading. But I am worried by this phrase, money for jam, he's touting about. Money for jam. What would you say the phrase meant?
well, money for jam, it's money for old rope, isn't it? It's just a saying. You could say it about anything. You could say it about a win bonus or anything. Look, I've admitted the bet. We lost. But I didn't ensure we lost. I used my knowledge to predict we'd get beat, like any honest betting man. Isn't it obvious? Can I ask you something?
Of course.
You do believe me, don't you? You do know I'm not a crook. I'm not bent. I mean, I was just trying to earn a few bob. I'm just a normal fella. I made a mistake. Just one mistake.
I believe you, Tony. But what I can't promise you is that those 12 members of the jury will feel the same. Whatever happens in court, we cannot rule out the possibility you may be found guilty. You might want to prepare yourself for that. There are many people who want to see an example made out of you. You're probably the biggest name caught up in this. Layne has already pleaded guilty. Gauld can only expect the worst.
You mean I might go down?
Yes. Is prison something you've thought about yet?
No. It's never crossed my mind. Not prison.
Mr. Gauld, over a long period and from one end of this kingdom to the other, you have befouled football and corrupted your friends and acquaintances. You are responsible for the ruin of footballers of the distinction of Tony Kay and Peter Swan. In reaching my judgment, I have not forgotten the tens of thousands of ordinary citizens who find relaxation in watching professional football. For their shillings they got not a match, they got a dishonest charade. I sentence you to a term of imprisonment of 4 years and order you to pay £5,000 in costs.
Eventually we got to find out that they've been doing it for years. And we hadn't got a clue what had gone off. So I thought, well, have we got lumbered with this then? We had no idea. Until when we got to Nottingham in the assizes and we were downstairs in the cells, we saw about 7 or 8 or 9 people down there all talking to one another. Like that. Swanee and Layne didn't know anything about it.
Do you see Gauld? Not a flicker. See his face, Swanee?
I didn't look.
Bastard didn't look us in the eye once.
Save your worrying for us, Tony. We'll be up next.
You sure?
Aye. Judge will send them out to consider the verdict.
Oh, it'll just be a fine. It's got to be just a fine plus, I don't know, costs or something. Our clubs will pay.
I'm in knots, Tony.
Oh, just steel yourself, Swanee lad. Like we do before a big game, eh? No flapping. It'll just be a fine, a few quid, and a wrist slap.
I don't know.
It's all we deserve. Then the FA will have to listen. They won't be banning us sine die like they have Gauld.
Sine what?
It's legal talk for indefinitely forever. It's Latin.
Bloody Latin. How the hell did a pair of squirts like us get involved with Latin? What an absolute mess. We're drowning here, mate. Maybe we really do need Jimmy Gauld to fix things for us now.
Oh, shut up, come on.
Balls to the FA and football. I can't be going to prison. I've got 4 kids now. The missus will go away.
Look, pack that in. We're all right. We've got through worse than this.
Have we heckers like?
You're not on your own, Swanee. Me and you, we're battlers. Tough nuts to crack, eh? We've been together since we left school, haven't we? Up through the ranks. Now, come on. Let's face this like men, eh?
Aye. Like real men.
Foreman of the jury. To the following question, answer only yes or no. Have you reached a verdict on which you have all agreed?
Yes.
To the following question, answer only guilty or not guilty.
Oh, come on, will you get on with it? Shh.
What is your verdict?
Guilty.
Tony! Over here, Tony!
Here he comes, lads.
You bet, scumbag! Scumbag! How much are you bummed his screws, Katie?
Finished yet, Kay?
Aye, sir, nearly. Just gotta prune that copper beech by the yard.
Leave Swan to do that. He's been playing Togger all afternoon.
Sir, reckon you could sort me a game tomorrow?
as the governor of this prison, I'm not here to sort things for you. Do you understand that, Kay? Should be all right, though.
Thanks, sir.
As long as you wear a Leeds shirt.
Oh, not that desperate.
Talking of Leeds fans, you had any grief lately from your more vociferous fellow inmates?
Nah, just the usual. I mean, I've been here over 2 months now. Not had one scrap. I'll take that.
Be out of here within the month, I expect. So you just concentrate on keeping your nose clean.
Leeds fans I can handle. Just glad to be out that Lincoln slammer.
Not your usual 5-star footballer accommodation, then?
Maybe it was just the shock of the sentence, but... I mean, that place... My God. I'm not Silver Spoon type lad, none of us is. Peter or David, but... I'm certainly not used to being sat in the dark next to a bowl of other people's crap for 23 hours a day. Who deserves that, eh?
You're not there now, are you, lad? Think about those that never leave there.
Aye, criminals.
But you committed a crime, Kay, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And so will you, no doubt, later today when you're doing 32 down a 30 street or you win timeshares in the work sweep and don't tell the revenue. We all bend rules, everyone. Does that mean that you're only guilty if you get found out?
OK, now, that's
If you get stitched up, like me?
Come on. Finish those plans and we'll head back in.
You know, before the trial, we spent a week on remand in Nottingham. It stank. It was rancid. And that's when I realised something major, something organised was going on. All these broken men just sat there. From all over the lower leagues, the length and breadth, Mansfield, York, Peterborough, Portsmouth, Hartlepool. Gauld had used us all. That's what's so gut-wrenching about all this. It's hit me like a bolt from the blue. I did something wrong, but I didn't even realise. Didn't even feel the guilt that would have cushioned the blow of being caught. You know, the judge said that the police have investigated thoroughly and can't find any other bet that you've placed on any other game. But I still get convicted of conspiracy to fix football matches.
How old are you, Kay?
26, sir.
No, you're not. You're 27.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, but my life's been on hold, though, hasn't it?
I'd say you're still a lucky man. So get that chin up, eh? You've made an error, you're paying for it. And when you get out, you're going to be able to play out your days at one of the best clubs in the world. While you're still in your prime.
And you really think they're going to let me?
Well, the FA'd be mad not to, won't they? What year is it? Next year?
66.
Exactly. So if we want to wrangle that trophy out of Pele's hands, who better to kick him off the park than Tony Kay?
Yeah, I can pass the ball too, you know. I did once nearly play against him, actually. Pele.
Yeah, May 63.
Got the nod for a friendly against Brazil. My first England call-up. But Harry Catterick pulled me out. Red West Brom at Goodison same week. I got my cap eventually, though. Scored and all. Happened so fast you barely remember it.
God bless us, listen to you. Anyone think you'd kicked your last ball already?
Aye, sorry.
But you haven't, have you, Tony?
I hope not, sir. Touch wood. I tell you something, I'm itching to get back. Gagging for a match. A proper one. In front of a crowd. I can't wait. I'll just sweep this up then, get washed for dinner.
Then we go before the FA, or the powers that be, or four just men. Right. For this, we are now banning new sign dire, which is a minimum 10 years. And I couldn't get my breath. I went, 10 years? For what? For that? I mean, you don't get that for killing somebody, I don't think you do. And I never got over that. That was me away to the woods for a week. I couldn't handle it. Split my marriage up, it split. Didn't make me a nice person. Couldn't do anything, really. I was doing waste paper collecting on the docks. I bought myself an old egg van. And I used to go down there and collect waste paper animal sacks and swap them in and get money that way, but then that finally ran out. The worst day of my life ever when I got stopped playing football, because that's all I lived for. That's all I wanted to do, and that's all I... Sad. Sad.
Gaffer! Harry, it's me.
Tony. Hello.
Look at you in your tracksuit, eh? What's up, cameras there, are they?
No.
How's things?
Very good, thank you. What can we do for you?
Just thought I'd say hi. That all right?
Sure.
Doesn't sound it.
Well, I'm just not sure how it might seem to onlookers.
Who? The press?
We've got a big game this week. I don't want any outside distractions for the lads.
I'm hardly an outside distraction, am I? Only a matter of months ago I was the bloody captain.
Yes. Still. Are you not working, Tony?
Trying to get a business going. Bookmakers.
Right. Bookmakers. You think that's wise, given the circumstances?
And what are those circumstances? Out on my arse for life. That's what. Cut off by the press, cut off by the FA, and cut off by Everton.
We didn't have a choice.
I mean, you're not exactly squeaky clean yourself, are you, Harry?
I beg your pardon.
You bunging me a load of cash to get me to leave Chef Wed. Is that within the rules?
That was a perfectly courteous signing-on fee for you. It wasn't a bung. Certainly not in the ballpark of making money from match fixing.
I have not made any money from match fixing. How many more times do I have to say it? I put one stupid bet on.
Why?
What?
Why did you do it, Tony?
Why? Do you not think I've asked myself that 1,000 times? All those nights locked up in one prison after the next. Why did I do it? If only I waited. 100 lousy quid I got. Then 2 weeks later I'm getting $3,000 to come here. What a bloody joke. I ballsed up good and proper. Once. Why can't people cut me a bit of slack, for God's sake? Look, Mr. Catterick, you saw me that day at Ipswich, didn't you? You came all that way to Portman Road in the pissing rain just to see me, didn't you?
I did.
And what did you see that day with your own eyes?
I saw a great footballer. Hard-working, honest, selfless, passionate, committed. A team player, hard as nails, unflappable, powerful. Awesome. Man of the match.
Aye, man of the match. So why can't I still be all those things then, Harry?
You're not the only one who feels the pressure, you know. You should put yourself in my shoes. This club was winning nothing prior to my arrival. Yet all I get from the board are demands. They want success now. They're the biggest business family in Europe. That wasn't my cash I gave you when you came here. Chance would be a fine thing. It comes from upstairs, from the men who run this game. People like that will happily throw money left, right and centre in order to get what they want. But only if it brings in a return. And the pressure's on me to bring it. I get it all before you. I'm the man who has to take the responsibility for wasting all that money when we lost you. And don't forget, I'm on nowhere near the wage you were on. You tell me what other industry has the man in charge earning less than his workers, eh? That's how it is, Tony. While there's big bucks in this game, anything dirty has to be seen to be washed out. Anything cancerous has to be chopped off. If you want to know how I feel, I think prison and a life ban is far too severe for the offence. I feel sorry for you, but what can I do? Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some football to be getting on with.
Harry, you don't really see me as a waste of money, dear. I mean, I helped us clinch the league, didn't I? We were champions. I played for England. I was a winner.
I know that. I know it and you know it. And I'm pretty sure the fans won't forget it in a hurry either.
But then I got into a few little bits and pieces in Liverpool. Then I got into a bit of bother with the police and didn't fancy another session in there, so I skipped. I saw somebody a ring that wasn't a diamond, and I had to leave the country. So I went to Spain. Stayed there for 4 years in Spain. The English people always seem to jump the gun. They always try to do what's correct instead of waiting for the bit. I mean, yes, I was very hurt about that. I was bitter and twisted for a wee while. We were definitely made an example of. It stopped it for a bit, maybe. Does it go on now? You've just seen lately in a different context, but it's still betting on a game. A few years later, there was Paolo Rossi. Well, Paolo Rossi played for Italy as a centre-forward, and he got prosecuted for a gamble. Yet, I think it was a year later, or 2 years later, they brought him back in to play for Italy in the World Cup, and he got 3 goals. I mean, can you imagine how that sits? It doesn't sit, does it? And don't forget, we couldn't play anywhere else in the world because some young Canadian fellow, about 19 or 20, some entrepreneur, was starting a football league, North American. They said, you touch those people, you get them, you'll never get started in your league. So that was that. Couldn't do it. Nowhere. I did, of course, I played all over. Although I got banned for life, I was 61 when I stopped playing football. When they say you can't, you can if you want to. And I think that's another thing that upset Swanee a bit, because he loved his football as well. Although he did go back and he played for Bury, and he played very well. He played for Sheffield Wednesday, and I thought that is a tremendous achievement for a man who's been out the game for a long time and still went back and got in the first team, you know. The centenary, the 100 years of Everton.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Watson and Tony Kay.
And I went out, and there was such a crescendo of sound. I went, where am I? This is frightening. Brought tears to my eyes. I was gulping. I was going, it can't be for me. That's 40 years since anything occurred. And all the way around, they were just applauding and applauding. And that's the response you get from these people. It's incredible.
I made one mistake, Gaffer. No one can say I didn't try my best.
I know, son.
I am sorry.
Aye. Well, we can't undo what's in the past, can we? Now, come on, lads. Come on, get some effort into it, will you? Come on, stop fanning about over there.
It was illegal, that's the thing, but I'm one of these type of people. If I do anything, I do it, and I've only got myself to blame. It shook a lot of people. I really do think it stunned a lot of people. It really did. I thought it was quite savage, to be honest. Especially at that age, when you're just in your prime. Every weekend, my ambition was geared towards the weekend to play football. And that's all I ever lived for.
In the Tony Kay scandal, the young Tony Kay was played by Mikey North, Peter Swan by Karl Prekopp, and Bronco Layne by Karl Davies. Jimmy Gauld was Ross Sutherland, the solicitor Andrew Branch, the judge Alan Leith, and the prison governor Ian Masters. The interview with Tony Kay was recorded in 2009. The Tony Kay scandal was written by Michael McLean and directed by Martin Jenkins. It's been a Pier production for BBC Radio 4.